obvious that there's some gigantic financial institutions that have been pulling the strings of politicians in this country for a long time. And just the fact that we have it set up where they can donate millions of dollars to these guys' funds, these guys' campaigns. I mean, how do we not expect it all to go bad?
At this video from Mar-a-Lago, a party was hosted. It was Trump's party. And for some reason, people, I didn't know if this was something to do with furries, like what the Sam Dam's going on. Look, they're all wearing dog masks. It was some type of themed party, but it does remind me of the movie Eyes Wide Shut, when they're all wearing masks, and we know who directed that movie and what happened to him after. My question is, are these guys up to something and maybe hiding it in plain sight? Is there things that they know that we don't? Or are they under some type of mass hypnosis or perhaps some form of mind control? What the Sam Dam is this? You remember the movie I'm talking about? Highly controversial. Some say that some scenes were edited out from the final cut of this movie, and because apparently too much was shown. Did you know that? This movie, Eyes Wide Shut, there's a rumor that they had to edit it and take out significant parts of it, which exposed too much. Of course, the official narrative would be that they, didn't make the cut because they weren't quality enough. But if we know anything that this movie is about, it also reminds me of the movie They Live, when the guys escape Earth, end up in the mothership, and we have the aliens who are telling the humans that are working with them and the aliens that are pretending to be humans that we're almost there. And actually, it was 2025 that they would have full control over Earth. If you watch the movie They Live, during that scene, he said 2025, we're going to have full control over Earth.
Why are they deploying all these ICE agents all over the streets? It comes down to
Well, it's 2026 now.
one thing only. The president can declare martial law. And if the president declares martial law, well, then that president is going to remain president due to an executive order. It's an old executive order. The midterms are coming up. It will be a great time to create a civil war or enough chaos to where you can declare martial law so that you can't be impeached. It's another loophole in the system. Remember, Trump is a master of loopholes. I mean, he buried his own wife, his property, so he wouldn't have to pay property taxes. This guy knows every loophole in the book. He may be looking to create a need to declare martial law to avoid the impeachment.
What's that? Oh,
Don't know. Not too sure on that, Pips. If anybody's got any information on that. What is the midterms as well? Is that something that seems to be everybody's talking about that? Me being from the UK, not sure what it is. I presume it's some sort of voting thing going on middle way through.
whistleblowers coming out about specific things that are used that he knows is capable of resetting the world. Tell me more! Yeah, this whistleblower is coming out saying he has seen and is witnessed and has been part of creating certain things that are capable, not saying they're going to be used or anything, but capable of causing an entire reset. Oh, goody. He said he didn't want to give all of the details, but he said, for example, anytime a flood needs to be created, it can be done very easily. He said the scary
Well, I think we know that, right?
that he's worked on and has seen kind of live in terms of testing, where it's almost like a light switch where it just turns people off, if you will. Oh, goody.
We are just getting new drone
Well, whenever you see floods, it's never rain. It's always water just rising really quickly.
video of a massive pileup in Michigan. This is on I-196 in Hudsonville, which is just southwest of Grand Rapids. Dispatchers saying up to 100 cars involved. Look at that. The crashes began around 10 this morning as heavy snow and wind falls across the area. So far, no word on any injuries. That roadway is going to be shut down for several hours.
That's no good.
Well, the translators are gone, and the live stream is waning, which means that if we just listen to my colleague Matthias, the best thing in the world would be to leave it to you, the people. Now it's up to you to share what clearly, based on the cavernous emptiness we see, in all of these spaces is only going to be heard if you share it. So it feels very appropriate that I should be the one with the quietest voice. But let's let that lion roar, shall we? I'm done talking about COVID, and I'm done talking about SARS-CoV-2, and I'm done for a very simple reason. For 110 years, we, the people of the world, have been lied to. We're a group of very small number of criminal industrial conspirators decided to subordinate the entirety of the human population for the purpose of their sinister plans to enrich themselves while impoverishing and killing the rest of humanity. And I'm done being polite. We've long passed polite. When the words acceptable death rate become part of an industrial norm, we have lost the plot of humanity. And that's not my words. Those were the words of the World Health Organization and of Pfizer and of Moderna when they were given the authorization to begin the process of killing human beings in the interest of advancing their goals. Next slide. And I'm also not going to sugarcoat this. This is a criminal cartel. We are acting as though there's some sort of redeemable quality somewhere in some esoteric layer that somehow or another the World Health Organization must have some salutatory benefit. Well, I'm going to tell you, since its formation in the 1940s, the World Health Organization has been nothing more than a criminal cartel that has a sole and singular intent. And I will show you the document that proves what I'm saying. This is not an allegation. This is actually provable by their own words in their own hand. And they use a four-step process to execute every one of their nefarious plans. They begin by planning an exercise, then they go to the business of funding that exercise, then they create the rationale for the thing that they're going to do, and then they deploy and profit from it. And in violation of 50...
That cut out early, but we got the gist of that, right? We got the gist. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It's weird.
I'll strike at the heart of American defense and destroy the Pentagon. Get him out of here. The Legion of Doom is about to begin its reign of...
And you know what? This was nothing. Wait till you see the video that's hidden in my lab.
Well, that seemed like very
Project
much
was shut down because
predictive programming right there.
there was a problem when we approached 2012. The timelines converge on that point in time. When you know how string theory works and how the possibility of possibilities works and how making one choice over here doesn't necessarily mean that the other choice couldn't exist at the same time. But once you get your brain wrapped around this subject, you find out that at the end of 2012, in an easy way to put it, the choices that we make become less and less consequential to the future. And eventually we're pushed into this bottleneck of time, no matter which choice we make.
Okay, so is that certain 2012 in your understanding?
It's well coincides with December 21st, 2012.
So at that point, all possibilities lead to the same
Timelines.
on.
All possible timelines lead to the same basic set of history in the future.
And after that, they shut it all down. Now ask yourself, why would a system like that be buried? And what exactly did they see? Because this isn't just about false memories or tech. It might explain why everything since 1999 feels frozen and artificial. Like we're on rails in a version of reality that wasn't meant to last this long. And if you think that's wild, Wait until you hear what else Looking Glass may have revealed. So what exactly did they see with Looking Glass? According to multiple whistleblowers, including Bill Wood and other interviewed by Project Camelot, every time they ran the device, no matter what variables they changed, all future timelines converged to a single fixed point. That point, somewhere between 2012 and 2016. After that, the future became unpredictable. No more branching outcomes, just a wall.
So it's super interesting that they couldn't see beyond 2012, or rather they could see beyond 2012, but maybe things became inevitable. That was backed up, by the way, by a lot of different things. Mayan civilization, the calendar, remember that whole scare? Why doesn't the calendar go beyond? So you arrive at this point and you wonder, what is this, right? Suddenly these people who are evil are no longer allowed or able to control outcomes, essentially. Or perhaps, so maybe they did see something beyond 2012. But no matter what they did, they couldn't change the outcome of that thing that they saw beyond 2012. So it wasn't so much the future couldn't be predicted, but rather that they couldn't change it, like something was coming. That's how it kind of feels to me when I just examine everything that's going on. There is this panic, like evil is panicking right now, and they're making a lot of mistakes because they're no longer in control. And I would also add here that one of the things that I've noticed is that they're trying to turn us all, and maybe this is their solution, where they're going, okay, what are we going to do? We can't change the outcome. Maybe we can just turn everybody into a computer program. Like they want us all to be the same. They seem to get really angry when we behave like humans. Like that's one of the things they're trying to triumph is our humanity. We talked about this a lot with the Charlie Kirk story, the reaction, how we felt icky, but they were like, what's wrong with you? How dare you feel icky? How dare you not like this? Don't you know this is what he would want? It's like their inability to defeat our humanity is angering to them. Now, something that was crucial, which was revealed about Project Looking Glass, was that the people who were in the room while this device was being operated, their conscious thoughts impacted the device, okay? So just imagine this. What they were thinking in the moment was changing future outcomes. Thoughts influenced future outcomes. That piece is super relevant to what we're going to discuss. And obviously that's pretty reminiscent of one of the themes of The Matrix. I just am going to assume everybody's seen that movie. If not, you should watch it because it was way ahead of its time. And he...
I can't help myself but put this stuff in at the moment. I'm really rekindling back with the Project Looking Glass. I love it. The ghost ship. What am I looking at here?
That the Epstein files, it continues. It's even worse. I just spent hours listening to another testimony. And when the testimony came out just in the last few days, that's when they pump up the Minnesota. Pump up the Minnesota, beat a few more people up, kill a few more people, get everybody to look over there. Don't look. And again, I'm not talking about just trafficking. I'm talking about outrageous snuff films, murdering young, I would say children, youth. They're supposed to be graveyards filled with missing kids, and no one knew who they were. I know I sound like a crazy person, I know, but it's not. There is a testimony, Sasha Riley. I ask people to go and investigate and listen to it yourself. There are some issues.
Listen, if you want to believe it.
I've not heard a lot about what's going on with that, to be fair.
But as crisis actor, this video is not for you. But if you, like me, are having suspicions that some of these folks in the Neo-Crusader Empire are in league with the Jinn, a very specific Jinn who is able to tell the future for a price, then don't you think maybe that explains why these search trend results are so prophetic? Because there ain't no good reason for them to have been searching that lady's name from last week. There is no good reason that Bill Ackman should be paying the guy that was involved in all that Unless they had foreknowledge. And they decided to take a prophecy and make it into a self-fulfilling prophecy. How would you do that? Well, you'd put some fear. You'd put some fear into the guy and say, we have it on good authority that she's going to take you out today. And if you've got that fear in there, then it's real. Especially if you knew about it in advance. Of course, this is just a theory for entertainment purposes only.
It all
But
is.
even more reason to keep your head.
Everything's for entertainment purposes only, isn't it, peeps?
They swivel. Love y'all.
Did you know that there is a castle outside of Prague in the Czech Republic that was designed to keep some
Top of the morning to you. I've done an Irish accent in a long time. 33.
in? This castle is Huska Castle, and unlike traditional castles, this one doesn't have a kitchen or running water or bed chambers, and all of the fortifications turn inwards rather than outwards. This castle is built on a cliff edge, and it is also built on top of a huge crack or a fissure that seems to have no bottom. This hole became known as the Hole to Hell. It was seen as a gateway to hell by local villagers. They said that at nighttime they would hear the screams of thousands of people being tortured coming from this fissure. Not only that, but the villagers said that creatures that were half human, half animal used to crawl from this crack in the earth at nighttime. These creatures would steal and consume
Half human, half animal. That just sounds like a dodgy human experiment going on.
livestock, children, anybody who got in their way, and then they would disappear back into this hole in the ground before sunrise. So allegedly this castle was built in order to ensure that whatever was in that hole in the ground would stay there. And to be doubly extra sure, they built a chapel directly over the hole in the ground itself. There are so many interesting layers to this story, including a bit where a prisoner was lowered down into this hole in the ground in order to see what was at the bottom. And he didn't reach the bottom, but he did frantically call for them to pull him back up. And when they pulled him back up to the surface, his hair had gone white. He was old and wrinkly, even though he had gone down into the hole as a young man, and he had been driven mad by whatever he had seen. This story is so fun and interesting, and I released an entire podcast episode about it today called Huska Castle. My podcast is Real Life Ghost Stories, and you can find it wherever you get your podcasts.
The CIA has declassified a book that tells how the world's supposed to end. Yeah, that's what the book's about. It's called The Adam and Eve Story, and it was written in 1966 by this guy, Chan Thomas, who worked for the Air Force, was a UFO researcher, and a self-proclaimed psychic. So how did Chan say the world's gonna end? Let me tell you. Basically, a magnetic pole shift so violent that it'll shake the entire Earth. That pole shift will cause earthquakes, tsunamis, fires, all kinds of other destruction. Not just in the U.S., but all over the world. In the book, Chan says North America will be swallowed by this type of destruction, but that none of the other continents will be able to survive it. Now, just because Chan Thomas wrote that story in 1966 doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. On the other hand, magnetic north is moving every year. And just in the past couple of months, we've had earthquakes, fires, tsunamis all over the world. What do you think, Booshkis? Do you think this book is prophecy, or is it all just a crock of spoiled potatoes? Let me know in the comment section. Shabadoo!
It's pretty obvious that there's some gigantic financial institutions that have been pulling the strings of politicians in this country for a long time. And just the fact that we have it set up where they can donate millions of dollars to these guys' funds, these guys' campaigns. I mean, how do we not expect it all to go bad?
This door here, look around us. This is like the very outskirts, deep into the park. And there's this random door with an animal's head and a knocker on it.
something feels so eerie about this, and it's just so random. Like, where does this even lead? It just goes into the cliffs. It's like something off Lord of the Rings, isn't it? I daresn't even knock on it in case I like do the wrong chord or something and I get sucked into a vortex. So another little hidden piece of history or a hidden gem. What would you call this? And more to the point, does anybody have any information on what this was? Or
What does Vladimir Putin know that we don't know? Because he passed a law a few years ago, which we literally passed the opposite law. And I'm going to tell you, and this should make you ask a lot of questions. Who's right and who's wrong? So get this. In our countries, in the 2010s, they banned GMO labels, which means they paid a lot of money and lobbied to make a law so that they didn't have to label food that contains genetically modified food as being GMO. In Russia, they banned GMOs. So we're talking the literal opposite thing. Over there, they're getting rid of them. And here, they're trying to hide.
Straight away, who's right, who's wrong on that? That's a very clear answer on that one.
And the craziest part is, would Ford or Dodge or Volvo or something ever hide the logo of their car? Of course not. They want to flex. They want to say, this is our car. Boom, bang, bang. We made it. We're proud of it. Monsanto wanted to hide their products from consumers. The excuse was they didn't think that the public understood the science. In other words, you literally are too foolish and too low IQ to be able to make a decision for yourself. You don't understand the science, and the science is settled. Now, I don't know about you, but when I find out the truth about GMOs and look at the other side of the story that's not promoted by the mainstream, it makes me really want to detox and to boost my...
Okay, y'all, just bear with me a second. I promise you will want to see this. I have a set of encyclopedias, teaching encyclopedias from 1927. Let me show you. Hold on. Chicago Standard Education Society, 1927. And yesterday I was looking up a certain flavor of juice. And in it, I actually just posted a video. Go look at the one before this. And it told me, go look at ghetto. If you don't know about encyclopedias, it will tell you other words to look to find more information on what you're looking at. Anyway, so I was like, ghetto, what the fuck does that have to do with juice? Let's go see. Okay, so ghetto in 1927, this is what the ghetto was categorized as. Roscoe, sorry, my mini pig is absolutely screaming. The Jewish quarter of large cities. The term arose in Italy in connection with the Jewish quarters in the cities of Lombardy and other parts of Italy. In the medieval towns, the Jews were compelled to live apart from the Christians. Do you remember? Do you see that? In the medieval towns, the Jews were compelled to live apart from the Christians. At Cordova, the Muslims drove dogs and Jews to live outside the city walls. The famous ghetto of Rome was destroyed in 1885 to make room for a new embankment along the Tiber. The most populous ghetto in the world is a downtown tenement quarter in New York City. This is for educational purposes only. I am literally reading out of an encyclopedia. This is not my opinion. This is an encyclopedia from 1927. I'm just curious. Remember when they found all those tunnels and there was a certain flavor trying to stop the police from going down there, and there was like kids' shoes and bloody mattresses? Anyways, I mean, I'm sure has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that pedophilia absolutely runs rampant in that community. But anyways, yeah, isn't that crazy? The shit that you learn, right? Okay, real quick, one more thing. This is in the last video too, but anyways. So it says when they reached Palestine, the promised land, flowing with milk and honey, the original and settled down. So it's just crazy to me. Like, they say they were treated poorly like dogs, whatever, but they don't say like why it got to that point, right? And how convenient would it then be to, I don't know, say something crazy like what's off the wall, start a world war? And make stories so that people feel so sorry for you. They never question the evil shit that you possibly, I mean, I'm just saying, right? Crazy.
So the fog is in the UK.
I don't know what's going on there. I'm a little bit confused, but old books do have a lot of stuff in there which you would question today's world. I am fascinated with like the old books because they do They do have stuff in them. You know what I mean?
As well. I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's a lot of similarities between the US and the UK right now. There's the crazy fog we got all over the US and the UK, and it's been sitting over India for 2 weeks now. But anyway, the US, the UK, and Ireland all have this surge of the aggressive flu. But the more you look, this is actually 4 different viruses hitting all at the same time. You got the adenovirus, the Super K, which is also hitting Australia, the norovirus, which is hitting all the cruise ships, as well as one we all know so well that's been kind of dying out lately. But besides all that, there's something that the UK and the United States are going through currently as well. It's the extreme rise in bacterial infections.
World Health Organization has issued a warning saying that drug-resistant infections, often called superbugs, are spreading at an alarming rate. The WHO says 1 in 6 bacterial infections worldwide can no longer be treated with antibiotics, threatening decades of medical progress and putting millions of lives at risk.
That's in the US. Today, an Amazon factory in the UK shut down because of TB.
Workers have tested positive for a deadly disease at a UK warehouse, sparking calls for an immediate shutdown. A number of TB cases have been reported at the Coventry warehouse, with NHS staff attending the site to perform blood tests.
And then, of course, there's India that has the fog as well, and they're dealing with their own mysterious bacterial outbreak. Sure is some strange coincidences, if you ask me. But y'all stay safe.
So there's something.
There's just disgusting fog everywhere at the moment. I know it's the winter and it's supposed to be bad weather, but it's like white blankets, cloud where you just can't even see a cloud. It's just one joined cloud, and it's just fog everywhere. I do question where like all these clouds could be man-made. They just
Right now that's really freaking people out. So I'm going to play a quick clip of the interview, and then I want to come back and talk about something because I have a question for you. Check out this clip.
He said that when the star of Regulus, she called it a red star. When you look at it, it looks blue. But she said when Regulus is red on the horizon, in front of the gaze of the Sphinx, before daylight. So in other words, when it's sitting right on top of the horizon before the sun comes up, that moment would mark a change in humanity's knowledge. I gave them the date of 2026 because they took that celestial event and ran it through these machines that showed that exact alignment will happen in 2026 at Easter. What's going to happen, I don't know. But I think it's possible that's
every movie you've ever watched is a defilement.
something crazy is coming in 2026, right? Let me know if you're feeling it.
Ritual. The music you listen to is hypnosis, and the movies are defilement rituals. Listen, almost every movie from Warner Brothers or Disney that you've ever watched, or the other ones, okay, 20th Century Fox, have all come from Freemasonic temples. That's literally where they filmed them, in temples. The MTV studios for MTV is a Freemasonic temple. The Jimmy Kimmel Live building is a Freemasonic temple, and on the outside it says, "We build our temples. Freemasons build their temples among the nations and in the hearts of men." So what they're saying is they're building a temple in your heart by producing their magic into your life. All the news outlets, Freemasonic temples. I'm not kidding. If you actually did some research, you would find out that every bit of Hollywood movie you've ever seen is being produced by Freemasons and from Freemason temples. Now, why is that important? You go, oh, well, no big deal. No big deal. No, it is a big deal. Because Aleister Crowley is kind of this link to expose the secrets. It sucks, but God forces these things to happen. Crowley is very open about his practices. He's very open about the fact that he learned all of his magic from his time as being a Freemason. What is some of the magic Crowley learned? He learned defilement rituals, pentagram defilement rituals. He was a magician, a magic practitioner, okay? And it wasn't just aligning his chakras, guys. No. We are talking about a man who understood what control he got if he would get somebody addicted to drugs, like heroin and cocaine specifically, okay? He understood the control he got when he would get people to worship themselves and worship false gods. All these things he claims to have learned while being a Freemason. Whoa, wait a minute. So you're telling me that they're purposely pumping drugs into the country? You're telling me that they understand they gain control when they get us to lust after each other and to watch a bunch of adult content? Oh, they're doing that on purpose? I don't know. Seems kind of fishy to me, because let me describe to you what a defilement ritual is that Aleister Crowley would practice. Specifically in the order of a pentagram, a 5-pointed star, okay? It's 5 major folds of defilement that I know this nation was built on. Why do I know it? Because I used to practice these defilement rituals. I understand I understand the documents, the legal rights that are being made when these certain defilements are applied onto someone's life. And I can look into our nation of America and see this ritual happening on a massive scale. They're going to kick me off tonight. If I make it through, I will be blown away. At this point, guys, I don't care. I will lose the 160,000 subscribers I have on TikTok because I don't care anymore. Satan, you don't tell me what to do, bro. You don't tell me what to do. You're not going to dangle my account over my head and say, you know what, Wyatt, you're going to lose your account if you don't watch what you say. No, you need to bow, devil. Bow to Jesus Christ. Bow and burn. I do not care. I will rebuild. You want to know why? Because God has promised me that my life will be ministry powerful, leading many to salvation. And you taking my account, Satan, does not take away God's promise on my life. So I'll just rebuild. So let me.
And look at the snake up there.
Yep. Oh yeah. So if you can look at me from this direction, get her. There's a cobra around her neck. You see her eyes.
Oh yeah.
Can you zoom in with her? You got the zodiac. You got the 12.
Crazy. That's just absolutely wild.
Yeah, it says something about like the people in Egypt.
That's what they're talking about right here. I just want to show y'all how big this is. Here, just be very careful about what we say, because I don't want to lose this live.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to show them how big.
This is inside the Boston Public Library, fam. You have the Egyptian pantheon, pagan deities, and Anunnaki. And if you're not familiar with the Anunnaki, those are the fallen angels. This place is wild.
It's gigantic, fam. Gigantic. Wow. Wow. This place, I can't even.
Oh, and there's the crescent moon. There's the same. She's standing on.
The sun and the moon, symbols repeated over and over. Symbolism is everywhere, and it all means something. I love y'all. Stay wild.
They say giants died out, but what if they were silenced? Not by time, by design. What if they didn't disappear? What if they were taken out? Turned to stone, buried in mud. Cities erased. A global reset, engineered to wipe out bloodlines and sold back to us as a fairy tale. And the doorways? The ones too big for humans? The ones with hinges the size of your head? They say it's just architecture. But who were they built for? Because some of those doors couldn't be installed today. Not without cranes, not without machines, and yet there they are. The floods came fast. Some say natural. Others say it was targeted. Energy weapons. Ancient tech. A deliberate wipeout to erase a species that remembered too much. The giants weren't just tall. They were powerful. Tied to the old world grid. And when the world was flooded in mud, some say the giants were still alive. Not all of them made it out. They were fossilized in real time, turned to stone, shaped into hills, ridges, sacred sites. Their skin? Petrified. Their bodies? Still here. And the salt? That glowing pink Himalayan salt? It was mined from ancient seabeds. The ancients called it the blood of the giants. Full of iron, full of memory. That lamp on your desk might be someone's rib cage. Everything they told you was a myth might have been memory. Another truth hidden in plain sight.
There's a lot of videos of giant looking rock forms. Loads of them. So it might be more than just a theory.
See the new picture of the Earth in 2026. Let's all take a look at it. Let's notice the differences. So according to NASA, this is the start of 2026. This is the picture from their satellites or wherever they're taking the picture at. Notice the stars around the Earth. Do you guys want to see pictures of the Earth from whatever satellites they're putting up or wherever they're taking these pictures from again in 2020? So it says ways to engage on Earth Day in 2020. Notice 0 stars. 0. Let's click back to 2026 just to reference really quick. So is NASA trying to say that we didn't have stars in 2020, but all of a sudden we had a bunch of stars in 2026? This is how they slowly delete history. This is what they do. They put out new pictures. They make it seem like this is the updated and current pictures. Why would that change? Why in the world would the Earth change from showing no stars to a bunch of stars? We know why. We all know why. Well, at least I know why. Do you guys know why? Wait, one last thing. I always like to put this in there. This is what we flew to the moon on. Reynolds Wrap.
Hold on, y'all. Pause for a minute. I've been telling you guys that we are in a real life movie/video game, and this video over here just proved it. So this new technology got unveiled in Las Vegas, of all places, and this technology allows her nails to be changed in real time without even going to a nail salon using AI, I believe. And she puts her thumb in this little box, and this thing does everything for her. Check this out. This is crazy.
I just saw nails that change color. No buttons. Cool.
But how do I know which color to keep it?
Pick the color on the app. So right now it's on this color right here. But if you connect the wands, you can pick any of the palettes you create.
Can you pick one?
Yeah. So if I sync it like this, now it'll be blue.
Okay.
So it'll start connecting through. And then it'll end on.
Ladies, do you know how amazing this is? Man, I said new technologies are going to be coming really, really quickly because we are in a fire horse year. But ladies, do you know how amazing this is? You don't need to go to salons anymore to get your energy siphoned anymore. And that's a video for a whole nother day. And I promise you guys, I'm going to make that video. But what do you guys think of this, y'all? This is crazy. Just like I be telling y'all, our life is a movie. I guarantee you we're going to see some amazing things, some new technology developing this year. Let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Let's get it. Peace in.
And then it'll end on.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we do live in the Truman Show.
Two separate things going on here, and I seen these the other night too.
What is that?
Understand what's going on. Just one's patrolling the other one.
That's Star Regulus. Is it aligning? Do we have a new knowledge? That is bonkers, y'all. That is actually crazy.